Good afternoon, Marcy. I was wondering, have you made any decisions about your plan for Christmas this year? If you have, I'd appreciate it if you could let me know what you're going to do.
As of right now, it looks like we're going to be at home all the way through the 24th. Jordan says he's got a lot of work to do before then.
Oh dear. The boy's going to be working on Christmas Eve?
I'm afraid he is. Frankly, I'd say he'll be lucky if he finishes everything he needs to by then.
My word. Running your own business is a lot of work, isn't it?
Well, I guess it's better to be too busy than to have no work at all. After all, being self-employed means if you don't have any work to do, you're not making any money.
I suppose that's true, but nevertheless, it's Christmas Eve, Marcy. Surely he can find time to rest on Christmas Eve, can't he?
Don't worry, he said he's definitely going to take Christmas off. The reason he's cramming so much work into his schedule right now is so he can take the whole rest of the year off after Christmas. And as of right now, we don't have anything big planned, so he should be able to rest for a solid week or so.
That's wonderful to hear. I'm holding this year's family Christmas dinner at our house on Christmas Day. I've invited the whole family, and if Jordan's off of work, you two can come too.
Thank you so much for inviting us. We'd love to come. I'll tell Jordan about it once he gets off work tonight.
Excellent. I'm very much looking forward to having the two of you here. I was so terribly disappointed when we couldn't have our usual Thanksgiving dinner last month. If only my husband hadn't gone and hurt himself raking the leaves. But these things happen. Such is life when you get to be our age. We'll just have to have enough fun on Christmas to make up for missing Thanksgiving.
Sounds great to me. Now that you mention it, I haven't seen Dad in a couple of months now. I'm really looking forward to seeing him.
Trust me, dear. You're not half as excited as that man is. He's pulling all the stops this year. He told me that he didn't want me to have to worry about fixing enough food for everyone but myself, so he's having the dinner professionally catered.
Wow, a catered dinner on Christmas? I had no idea people actually did that in real life. Must have cost him a fortune. I wonder what's going to be on the menu. Oh, just thinking about it's making me hungry.
We've got many more surprises in store for you all.
Ooh, surprises? What sort of surprises?
Now, Marcy. If I told you, it would ruin the surprise.
Good point. Okay, I'll let Jordan know then. I'll bet knowing an incredible Christmas dinner is waiting for him will be all the encouragement he needs to make it through the rest of the year.
Thank you so much, dear. There's going to be more food than you'll know what to do with, so you had better come hungry. You know me. I have a very strict no leftovers policy. No one's allowed to leave until the entire table is cleared.
I might just have to take you up on that challenge. I'll skip lunch on Christmas Day then. Maybe even breakfast too.
Be sure that you do. Well then, I'll leave you to go about your afternoon, Marcy. We'll see you two on Christmas Day.
Merry Christmas, Mom.
Merry Christmas, Marcy.
I just wanted to let you know that we're on our way to your house right now.
Excellent. Drive carefully. I'll bet traffic is a nightmare right about now. We got a bit of snow last night. Not too much, but enough to make the roads a bit slicker than usual.
Thanks for letting me know. I'll tell Jordan to drive carefully. Fortunately, it doesn't look like it's too crowded over here. That might change once we get into town, though. I'd say we should be there right around 3 o'clock.
Thank you for telling me, but if I may be so bold, the two of you are leaving the house awfully late. I expected you would have left earlier in the morning.
Yeah, I'm sorry about that. We were planning on leaving in the morning, but we got held up a bit. It's my fault, I'm sorry. But like I said, we're on our way now. How are things going over there? Has everyone else arrived?
Yes, everyone but you and Jordan has been here since earlier in the afternoon. Were you busy with something, Marcy? I'd understand if Jordan had to work to take care of something before coming down, but what happened with you, dear?
Well, it's kind of a long story, but the short version is that I pulled an all-nighter last night.
Oh, no. You haven't slept at all? Are you sure you're feeling up to coming down to my house today? You might just fall asleep at the kitchen table.
No, it's all right. I'll just sleep in the car for a bit. I leave the driving to Jordan most of the time anyway.
I doubt that would be enough to make up for a whole night. You'll only get about an hour of sleep on the road at best. I'll go tidy up the guest bedroom and you can rest there once you arrive. The caterer will arrive with the food at 5 o'clock, and I have nothing else to do to then anyway.
Mom, I really appreciate you going out of your way to do all of that for me. But really, it's okay. I'll be fine. I don't need all that much sleep to get by anyway. An hour is more than enough.
Don't be silly. I insist. You go ahead and rest until dinner arrives. Besides, we've got a lot of fun in store for everyone this evening. You'll need to get plenty of rest if you're going to keep up with everyone else. Someone's going to have to drink all the wine we bought. If you won't do it, then it'll fall to my husband.
I would feel too guilty, though. You're all going to be hard at work getting everything ready, aren't you? Cleaning the table, getting dishes out. I'm sure the caterer's bringing the food, but there's a lot more to do than just that. I can't be asleep while you all are doing everything without me.
Don't you worry about a thing. There are more than enough people here to take care of everything. My husband and son will be more than willing to pick up your slack. Other than that, the only real work there'll be to do is carrying the food to the kitchen table. And I can have the men do that for me too. I couldn't ask someone who didn't sleep last night to do that. You'd wind up spilling the food all over my clean floor. So please, Marcy, go ahead and have a rest a bit before dinner.
Well, if you insist. Thank you for being so concerned about me. I feel terrible making you all go to this trouble on Christmas.
It's no trouble at all. Cooking is 90% of the work for this sort of family gathering, and my husband was kind enough to take that burden off my shoulders. I'll come in and wake you up when dinner is about to start. I'll let you go now. You close your eyes and get all the rest you can.
Thanks, Mom. Okay, we'll see you in a few hours. Hey, Mom? Would you mind opening the door? I'm awake and I'm trying to get out of the guest room, but it seems like the door's been locked from the outside.
That's because it is locked from the outside. I put a padlock on it.
And may I ask why on earth you're doing this?
Because that's where you're going to stay until dinner is finished.
What's going on with you, Mom? Why are you doing this to me? And wait a second. This isn't the guest bedroom. This isn't even a bedroom at all. You locked me in the basement storeroom?
You were so drowsy when you came into the house that you didn't even notice.
Get me out of here right now! There's so much dust in here I can hardly breathe.
That's not my problem. And no, I'm not letting you out. You're staying until every last bite of this incredible dinner is gone.
What did I ever do to you to deserve this? You invited us to dinner, didn't you? Why would you invite me to dinner just to lock me in the basement? You could have just, not invited me in the first place.
A small correction. I invited you to the house. I invited my son to dinner. So my wonderful, handsome son is right now taking his rightful seat at the dinner table, and his ugly wife is where she belongs.
His ugly wife? Are you talking about me?
Does he have any other wives I don't know about? Yes, I'm talking about you, you idiot.
Wow, Mom, I had no idea that this was how you really felt about me.
It's nothing new. I felt the same way about you since you first started dating my son. It didn't make sense. Why would my son choose such an ugly, average girl as yourself to be his wife? He's handsome, brilliant, kind, hardworking. He could have had any woman in the world that he wanted. You don't deserve to wipe the mud off of his shoes, much less sleep in the same bed.
It is really, really bizarre for you to be acting so hatefully towards me right now. Up until now, you've always been nothing but kind and caring.
My hatred for you burns with the fiery intensity of 1,000 suns. I was against your farce of a marriage from the very beginning, but Jordan was so bound and determined to marry you that I didn't feel like I could talk him out of it.
And this is all because you think I'm ugly or something? Is that really the reason you oppose our marriage so strongly?
Nonsense. There's a list of reasons a mile long. Where should I start? First of all, you didn't even go to college. Imagine that. In this day and age, the only people who don't go to college are complete dunces. Any idiot can get into some third-rate community college, but you didn't even do that. That means you're worse than an idiot. What woman wants an idiot for a daughter-in-law?
I had no choice but to give up on college. My family wasn't exactly what you'd call wealthy. I didn't have the time or money to be going to college. I needed to work, so that's what I did.
Thank you for providing me that excellent transition to point number 2. You were too poor to even afford tuition. It makes me sick to my stomach when I think about you and Jordan one day having children. My grandchildren being infected with your peasant DNA? Disgusting.
Exactly how did my family being poor affect you, Mom? And let me just say that while I didn't go to college, I worked harder than anyone else my age to get where I am today. Doesn't that count for anything?
It does not count for anything because you never amounted to anything. You quit working and became a housewife the moment the two of you were married, and now you sit at home, lazing about all day while leeching off the fruits of my son's labor.
You have no idea what I'm doing at home.
You told me yourself that you were up all of last night. So tell me, Marcy, were you out getting plastered drunk at some dive bar? Or were you just getting plastered drunk in my son's house?
I wasn't getting drunk at all. I didn't have a single drink. I was way too busy to even think about drinking.
Busy? You? A housewife? You haven't been busy a day in your life since marrying my son. And the night before Christmas? What work could you possibly have been doing? You're not fooling me, Marcy. Admit it. You were late leaving the house because you were nursing a hangover.
You are completely wrong about me, Mom. I don't understand why you won't believe me.
You lied to my son to get him to marry you. It's only natural for me to assume you're lying to me now.
I never lied to him.
Hush, you impudent little wretch. There is no place at my Christmas dinner table for an ugly, lowly woman like you. You can enjoy yourself all you'd like in that storeroom.
Well, I guess at least I know how you really are now. But know this, Mom, you are making a massive mistake. What you're doing to me right now is not going to go over well with all the other family members here tonight. And think about my husband. What is he going to think when he sees that I'm not at the dinner table?
He won't be thinking of you at all. No one here will be. My family members come from a much finer pedigree than you. They wouldn't be interested in spending time with a disgusting peasant girl like you anyway. So don't worry. I'll tell them all you went shopping or something. No one will ever suspect a thing.
I'm not letting you get away with this.
You truly are stupid, aren't you? You don't realize that I've already won. Now, let's make a deal. If you're a good little girl and keep your head down until dinner is over, then I'll continue to feign kindness to you in front of the family. Do I make myself clear? I do not want to hear one single sound out of you for the rest of the evening.
And if I refuse, what happens then?
I will do everything in my power to make your life a living hell. My husband is fiercely loyal to me. All I need to do is give him the word, and he'll force Jordan to break up with you. It won't take me but 5 minutes to convince him that you do not deserve a place in this family.
I see. Looks like you're really serious about getting rid of me, huh? But let me remind you that you're making a huge mistake. I guarantee 100% you will regret doing this to me.
How pathetic. How are you going to make me regret anything while you're locked in the basement, Even if you weren't a stupid, ugly peasant like you is no match for me.
Don't say I didn't warn you. Let's see how loyal your family really is to you.
What have you done, Marcy? All of a sudden, Jordan jumped up from his seat in a panic and started looking all around for you. I just know you're behind this.
Do I really have to explain it to you? I mean, you know I have my phone down here, right? I texted Jordan.
No. What did you tell him?
Just that since you weren't going to give me a place at the table, that I'm going home. Oh, and also that I'll be moving out of the house, so he's going to have to look elsewhere for support from now on. It doesn't surprise me at all that you said he's looking panicked.
Support? What nonsense are you going on about? What support could you possibly provide my son? And why would he be panicked about you leaving him? He should be overjoyed. I know I am.
About Jordan's business, were you aware that it hasn't turned a profit in months now?
What?
Not only is he not able to support us with his income from the business, he's barely even able to support his own business. So I'm the one who has to work in order to keep us afloat.
That's impossible. I thought you were just his housewife.
I was just taking care of the house for him for a while after we got married. But once his company dipped into the red, I went back to my old job.
This is the first I've ever heard of this.
It's obviously not something he's very proud of. I've been keeping a lid on it myself to spare him the stress and embarrassment. But as of right now, the only reason we're able to get by is because of my income. Without me, my husband would have to close down his company and get a job somewhere else.
No, I don't believe that ridiculous story, not for 1 second. You're nothing but dead weight holding my poor son back. My son's a natural businessman. He would never need help from you. Stop lying and tell me the truth.
I'm telling you the truth. You just need to accept it. You said you thought I was drinking last night? Well, I was actually working all night. On my side gig, actually, not my main job. You just hate me so much that you jumped to the worst possible conclusion. I'm surprised you didn't accuse me of having an affair.
Even if your ridiculous story is true, it doesn't change a thing. I'm still right. You say you're the one supporting your family right now? So what? Jordan's business troubles are merely temporary. I'm sure that in no time at all, things will be back to normal and Jordan's business will thrive once again. And when that happens, he'll have no more use for you.
Trust me, I'm just as confident in Jordan's skills as a businessman as you are. But even when that happens, and I'm sure it will, Jordan won't be so quick to forget his debt of gratitude to me. Unlike you, Jordan is actually, a decent human being.
Excuse me?
I can hear footsteps from down here, and it sounds like Jordan's looking pretty hard for me. How do you suppose he'll react when he finds me here? Think about it. His beloved wife, cold and alone in a dark, dirty room, with a padlock on the door to boot? If I were in his position, I might just have a few choice words to say to you.
He's my son. He'll never be able to stand up to me. Even if he is upset, all I'll need to do is explain that I was trying to reform his impudent wife. Then he and the entire rest of the family will all take my side against you.
I don't know about that, Mom. I'm pretty sure everyone in this house but you has a healthy sense of morals. You really think they'll have your back?
Stop talking as if you know the first thing about my family. You rotten little upstart. I'll show you. You're going to regret crossing me.
Wow, Mom, this food is incredible. Where did your husband find this caterer? I'm gonna have him give me their phone number. I could eat this food every day of my life.
Let me out of here! Right this instant!
Sorry, no can do. You're not allowed to come out of there until after dinner is finished. That's what your husband said, right? And he's the man of the house, so...
You can't let him lock me up in this filthy place. Go and talk some sense into that old fool.
Seriously, though, don't you guys ever clean that storeroom? I mean, sure, it doesn't have to be spick and span like the living room or kitchen, but would it kill you to sweep the floor every once in a while? Although I gotta say, the irony there is almost as delectable as this food. You set that room up so you could lock me in there, and now you're the one who's locked up. You reap what you sow, Mom.
But what have I done to deserve this? I'm the one who got everything ready for tonight's dinner. I should be up there right now eating turkey and drinking wine.
First of all, your husband is the one who paid for the catering, so I don't know why you're taking credit for that. And second of all, it's because you're a jerk. I told you, didn't I? Everyone else in your family is a normal, decent person. And normal, decent people tend to get angry when abnormal, indecent people do abnormal, indecent things to other normal, decent people. Your husband really is a way with words, by the way. I was impressed. He did a great job explaining the whole story to the family just now. Hearing how angry your ordinarily level-headed husband was really drove the point home to everyone.
This can't be happening. I thought for sure that my husband at least would take my side.
Yeah, well, you thought wrong. I thought that would have been made clear by the way he personally threw you in there. I'll never forget the look on your face when you turned around as he slammed the door shut behind you. You looked so pathetic.
Stop mocking me. Haven't I been through enough already? You've successfully managed to turn my entire family against me, you ugly little cretin.
Call me what you like, Mom. At least I'm still going to be married in a month.
What are you saying?
Your husband told the family about more than just your beef with me. He was airing out some of your dirty laundry, too. He told them that he regretted marrying you and only stayed with you all these years because of your children. Later on, I heard him asking your brother if he knows any good divorce attorneys.
No. He's actually considering divorcing me? I can't get divorced at my age. Once you're done convincing him to let me out of here, you'll need to talk him out of divorcing me too.
Even if I wanted to do that, which I don't, I doubt it would do any good. Your husband is really fed up with you. He said that ever since you got married, you've done nothing but leech off of his hard-earned money. Weird, huh? That's exactly what you accused me of doing. Oh, and do you want to know the real reason he insisted on having Christmas dinner catered? It's because you're a terrible cook.
What? How dare you say that to me?
Don't shoot the messenger. He told me that you hadn't worked a single day during your entire marriage, but despite spending all day at home, you still can't cook a decent meal.
Well, congratulations, Marcy. You got everything you've ever wanted. You ripped me down from my rightful place as the matriarch of this family. That was your plan from the very beginning, wasn't it? You've just been waiting for the perfect chance to stab me in the back. After all I've done for you and this family.
What? That's a pretty ridiculous conspiracy theory you've got there. You think I've been conspiring against you?
I don't think you've been conspiring against me. I know you have. Now do as I say. Convince my husband to let me out. My phone's battery is almost gone. I only have a few minutes left before it dies, and I'll be left all alone in this dark, bug-infested room.
Isn't that exactly what you were trying to do to me? If you can't take it, then don't dish it out in the first place. I think some time alone down there to reflect on what you've done will do you a lot of good. I'll leave you with your thoughts then. I have to eat this food before it gets cold. Tell you what, if you say you're sorry, maybe I'll save you some table scraps. A few hours later, dinner was finished, and my mother-in-law was finally let out of the basement. Her eyes were bright red, which she claimed was due to all the dust in the basement, but it was pretty obvious that she had been doing a lot of crying down there. My father-in-law dragged her into the dining room where everyone was still sitting at the dinner table and forced her to apologize for ruining Christmas. And on that awkward note, the family Christmas celebration came to an end, and everyone returned to their respective homes. I heard from the neighbors a while later that after everyone left, they could still hear my father-in-law shouting at her for a solid hour or so. Not too long after that, they were officially divorced and my mother-in-law was kicked out of the house. I understand that she's now living in a subsidized apartment for elderly residents and doing something she has dreaded her entire life: getting a job.